He's fighting for the belt, lad, so it's got massive looking forward to being the first champ in Liverpool. And obviously I wanted to fight Ilia for the undisputed title, but he's got bigger things going on, so leave into that. Hopefully he gets all that sorted. And I'm going to beat Gagey and win the Inter.
Paddy Pimblett just weighed in on Ilia Topuria's explosive divorce. The UFC lightweight division feels more unpredictable than ever. This isn't mere gossip or background chatter. This is real-life upheaval that can reshape careers, topple champions, and redefine rivalries overnight. Ilia Topuria, one of the UFC's most dominant fighters, had to step back from the spotlight after his highly public and intense marital fallout.
Publicly, there's like a divorce.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's taking photos with rappers and shit, putting it on Instagram.
No.
Yeah. They try to
Put a fucking knife right in your spirit.
This is the mother of your children, and this lady is a monster. There's a lot of ladies like that because you hooked up with a guy who's an incredibly special human being. You not just a UFC world champion, but a 2-division world champion superstar who the whole world wants to see, and you're his wife. So you're like, oh, look at me. And then he doesn't want to be with you anymore. Well, I'm gonna take you down. Reputation destruction. That's what they really are.
Really?
Yeah, she was living there.
Damn. Who says you can't meet your wife in Miami?
You can find your wife in any place in the world.
You hear that? Put that on Only in Date on Instagram. You can meet your wife in Miami.
Alright, let's roll.
Put it on Only in Date. It's hilarious.
Everywhere. But why are you saying that?
Huh?
Why are you saying that?
Everyone says that.
Because you go to the party and this is the only place you see. But you don't know the another part of Miami of people that just they want.
They're normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Best place to work out too, Miami, because you can just walk outside and run the water.
Ilia Topuria made headlines. My belief through the headlines is that Ilia was walking away from the UFC championship belt, thus elevating Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett to undisputed title. Now, once I dug into this, I can't quite recall why I thought it in the first place. I mean, once I dug into it, there was nothing in the article that said that Paddy and Justin was going to be undisputed, or that the UFC was accepting, or that Ilia was surrendering a belt back. And I was talking with Daniel Cormier. Daniel's always got the inside scoop. It's like, hey, Daniel, you just got back from calling this event. What is going on there? Is Justin and Paddy moved up? And Daniel said no. He said that essentially in all of these articles and all of these news waves that have now just come out on Ilia Topuria, it's repackaging what we already knew. It was Ilia coming in front of this thing and saying, hey, I'm dealing with some big stresses in my personal life, and one of the great concerns that I have is that there's going to be a claim made against me for domestic violence, and I'm sitting here and I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. And until it does, and until I can deal with that, try to work my own personal things back into order, I won't be competing. Now, I think a lot of you are going to hear what I just said and go, hey, Chael, you're 2 weeks late on the story. No, that is the story. The story is that this made headlines for something that we were already told a couple of weeks ago, and there is no escalation from that, meaning Ilia Topuria is not vanquishing or having stripped from him the title. It's actually, all of these articles going around, all of these stories you're going around, you're hearing about Ilia Topuria have no direct tying to Paddy the Baddy and Justin Gaethje. I get where this is confusing. I even asked Daniel that. I said, hey man, what am I missing? I get the severity. I get that we don't want to lighten up a personal topic. And when domestic violence is thrown in there, I get that we don't want to do that. I thought we dealt with this a couple of weeks ago. Is there about to be a legal charge? Is there about to be an investigation? Is there something new coming from this? And the answer was no. But it's got Ilia in a panic. So I start reading these articles. I start going through them all. I go, man, these headlines are very misleading. Let me get to the bottom of this. And Ilia does at some point make that statement, which is, I knew that this was going to come out. I thought staying quiet was a way to deal with it. But I've now learned when you're quiet in the world of PR, it gives fuel to flames of false narratives. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to let you know that I'm expecting sooner or later an accusation to be made about domestic violence. What do we do with the interim belt? I mean, I feel awful for Ilia Topuria, but not having heard any of this story, not having Ilia said that, or getting Daniel to explain it to me, or taking my time and going back and reading through the articles so that I come to you guys and I don't misspeak.
Paddy Pimblett has reacted to Ilia Topuria's explosive divorce and the UFC. Lightweight division suddenly feels unpredictable. Topuria, once unstoppable, is stepping back amid heartbreak, legal battles, and stress, even vacating his belt temporarily. Paddy, now one win from an interim title shot, knows momentum matters, and with Topuria distracted, division could shift overnight, proving that what happens outside the cage affects what happens inside it.
Topuria fight.
I hope it's gonna happen. It's gonna be tough fight for Ilia, for sure. Ilia make you either shoot him, which is he will stop, or no, Islam has to strike with him, and then striking, we all know that how Ilia fights and how dangerous he is and how knockout power he have. So it's gonna be tough fight for Ilia for sure, like every fight is, but I believe he can finish Islam Makhachev.
Do you feel that if the UFC gives this fight to Paddy the Baddy, do you think that's the right thing?
It's a mess right now at 155 pounds. It's very difficult to say, Paddy Pimblett, you're next up, when you haven't fought Arman Sarukian, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira. I understand Arman weighed in as a backup. I gave you a shot for you to weigh in. You don't make weight. That doesn't make a company very, very happy. And can that company trust you? Who's done more than Justin Gaethje as far as favors for the UFC?
That's not realistic, bro. The UFC moves on, bro. This is how you matchmake it. It does have to be Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, and you do have to be fair. Give it to Arman. Arman does deserve that shot, bro. Like, straight up.
For sure, he needs to win one more fight. If he wins the fight, he can fight for the title. I will give him the opportunity to fight for the title because we have a history behind, so it's going to be a massive fight.
Damn, what could be next for Paddy? Ilia says he thinks Paddy kills Justin Gaethje. I don't think kill him, dude. Justin Gaethje is so fucking solid. But again, 5-round fight, 2, 3, 4 rounds into the match, and Paddy does score a takedown. Now he's got maybe Justin Gaethje on his back in half guard.
That's very plausible. Justin forgets he fucking wrestles.
He definitely trains it, but you could see why Ilia thinks that a little bit. Plus, Justin Gaethje's 36, Paddy Pimblett's 30 years old. But again, you can't count Justin Gaethje out. He could knock Paddy the fuck out.
I would lean towards Justin in that fight.
Biggest fights that I've had against the most of the grapplers, I have had issues, but the way that Charles Oliveira got me to the ground was by, rocking me and sitting me down with a punch. Khabib was just a whole nother conundrum. I mean, ultimately, he's a really good grappler, but, since the Charles Oliveira fight, I've really trained a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of grappling, and I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I ever have. I'm not looking to grapple, but I have no issue with the grappling department, and my ability to keep people from taking me down is second to none.
I just started following Paddy Pimblett, and
Paddy the Baddy.
I just like him.
Right away, one fight.
And, dude, I just immediately like the kid, and I go, I want to see more of him.
Yeah, it's amazing. One fight in a
Sean
UFC.
O'Malley.
Yep. Something about his haircut. I want to follow him,
dude. I followed him. I followed him as another guy in open tabs. I didn't talk about because I was like, I don't know how these guys received that, but I just fucking watched every video about the guy.
Fighters got upset by like how popular he was getting. They were making all these memes where they were putting like his hair on a bunch of different fighters.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was like a whole series of them that were going around. I don't know if fighters were doing it or if other people on.
Everyone knows the wall. Stakes, fans, Paddy, and even Ilia himself. The question is whether Ilia returns the same or comes back angrier. Sharper and more dangerous. Using heartbreak as fuel, a path history shows can go either way. Stylistically, this clash is chaos waiting to happen. Topuria is compact, explosive, and brutally efficient, capable of ending fights quickly with his power and precise boxing. But Paddy Pimblett brings unique challenges: length, awkward movement, unpredictable timing, and a grappling style that thrives in messy scrambles. While Ilia thrives in clean, fast fights, Paddy's unorthodox approach could push him out of his comfort zone, making this matchup as dangerous as it is intriguing.
Would have been able to tell you if it was in fact a personal story, if there was in fact something personally going on with that beautiful girl that pops up on camera as Ilia's headed to the ring, that a claim of domestic violence was going to be involved. I don't attempt to sound cynical in the least. I could have told you the day that the rumors came out that it was a personal something involving her and him, that the words domestic violence were going to get attached to it. I was a little bit more surprised when Ilia came out and got in front of him and says, hey, I can't take this anymore. I'm losing sleep at night over this. Let's rip this Band-Aid off. These words, domestic violence, these words are going to get associated with me. The whole world kind of had my reaction. The whole world kind of had my reaction where they're going, wait, did that not already happen? We've made it this far. We've made it this many weeks into what we've known from Jump Street as a personal dispute with the two of you. We wish you and your family the best, but you're telling me we've made it this far and those words haven't come out yet? That's a surprise to me. I would have assumed that they had. And can we now set that as uncomfortable as that topic apparently is, and I don't love it much more, that can we just set that over here because we have a different issue, which is the career and the fighting career of Ilia Topuria. Because there have been some rather strange things that have happened to him as of late. I mean, the number one contender for his belt, Arman Tsarukyan, ends up not getting a shot at the belt, has to go out and do another fight, which officially gets named the number one contender's fight, of which Tsarukyan wins, but he is not fighting for the belt. Paddy the Baddy versus Justin Gaethje are going to go ahead and fight. Though I don't know if either one of them has ever asked to fight the other, as much as they just wanted the opportunity and the idea of fighting, of which I'm good with.
You mentioned you want to face Paddy next, obviously, if you do win the title this Saturday. You said that he needs one more fight. How big, obviously, not to look past Charles, but how big do you think that fight could be, given your history together?
That fight easily could be one of the biggest in the UFC history.
Are there any hard feelings still towards Paddy?
Listen, I don't used to take anything personal in this game. It's all professional.
And with that one fight that you think that he should have, is there someone in the division that you think would make sense in terms of him winning that fight to get the title shot next?
So if he wants to assure his title shot, he has to fight with Justin Gaethje, because if he fights with Arman, I think that Arman's going to beat him. So the easiest path he has right now to get this.
So discussed what he's been going through. And I think it's worth reading because this is the most he has said about all of this. Over the past several weeks, I've made the difficult decision to temporarily step away from defending my title. This was not a decision I took lightly. However, when circumstances arise that threaten your personal integrity, your family, and your reputation, there comes a point when you must address them directly. In recent months, I have been subjected to severe and unacceptable pressure, including threats to disseminate false allegations of domestic abuse unless financial demands were met. These allegations are entirely unfounded. The truth is not a matter of opinion, it is a matter of evidence. All relevant evidence has been carefully preserved and documented, including audio recordings, written communications, witness statements, and video material. This evidence has been submitted to appropriate judicial authorities in order to pursue legal action for attempted extortion, falsification of evidence, misappropriation of funds and personal property, and multiple threats. My initial decision to remain silent was made solely to protect my children, who are the most important part of my life. However, I've come to understand that silence under these circumstances does not protect the truth. It allows false narratives to take hold. Many individuals have faced similar situations, and time and again, the legal system has ultimately clarified the facts. Today, I'm stepping forward not only for my family and myself, but also to demonstrate that no one should be forced to yield to intimidation, manipulation, or fear. Those who know me can attest that I have never engaged in violence of any kind, and that my life and career have always been guided by discipline, respect, and integrity. I have full confidence in the judicial process and will allow the legal system to determine the facts based on evidence. Out of respect for my children and the ongoing legal proceedings, I will not be making any further public statements. I respectfully ask that speculation be avoided and that my family's privacy be honored during this sensitive time. The truth does not require volume, it requires facts. Thank you, Ilia Topuria. So that is heavy duty stuff. Obviously, we knew that he was going through some personal issues and there's rumors online, and I didn't want to partake in any of those. I had not heard any of this. I had not heard any of these allegations or rumors, innuendo, any of that. And so you can understand even more so why he would want to step away and not focus on.
If Paddy weathers the early storm, drags Ilia into scrambles, and tests his endurance, the fight transforms from precision to a battle of heart and stamina. For Paddy, this is a legacy-defining moment. A win elevates him to real contender status. A loss could confirm the critics' right. For Ilia, defeat after vacating the belt and enduring personal turmoil shifts the narrative from dominance to decline. This clash feels inevitable, Not just for rankings or titles, but for the story. Pain versus confidence. Chaos versus precision. Heartbreak versus hunger. With Ilia stepping away, Paddy now has the opening of a lifetime. And when they finally meet, it will be about who survives the storm and emerges stronger.